You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. As the holiday season approaches, it's time for gratitude, connection, and celebration, but it can also bring its fair share of challenges, especially when it comes to family dynamics. To help us navigate those tricky situations, we're joined today by Charlie Simpson from the Arkansas Relationship Counseling Center, who's here to share some strategies to make family time a little smoother. All right, Charlie. Of course, Thanksgiving, we're supposed to be thankful for our friends and family and all the wonderful things that we have in our lives, but sometimes our families are not copacetic. Not everybody's cooperating. What are some of the biggest challenges that families face at this time of year?
The biggest challenge, you have a lot of different personalities coming together under one roof. And oftentimes when you divide up or you bring multiple personalities together, you're kind of opening up the space to kind of go into some uncomfortable conversations. You have those family members that will speak their voice, that give their opinions, their perspectives, despite how uncomfortable it might feel. So some people might have to prepare for some of those moments.
Okay, well, let's get them prepared. What can they do?
First and foremost, you definitely have to prepare yourself before you even go to the event. A lot of conversations with yourself. There might be certain personalities that you know will be at the function, so you might have to prepare yourself for certain questions. There might be certain conversations or even unresolved topics that you and your family might have. You have to be able to just ask yourself, how will I address those things? If you're the single person and you're getting ready to go to the event and you're going to have 10 or 20 people ask, are you getting married? Are you having kids? Oftentimes those conversations can become very irritating. So being able to prepare your answers for those definitely is a way to get yourself more mentally prepared for those types of events.
Yeah, what happens if a conflict does arise? What's the best remedy?
You definitely want to try to keep the peace as much as possible. Oftentimes you can see the uncomfortable conversation coming. You can hear the tones, you can hear the topic. But more importantly, what you have to do is self-soothe your body so that your body does not kick into fight or flight mode in that particular moment. And if you can use open-ended questions, so instead of just going into a defensive stance, asking more open-ended questions on, well, what makes you feel that way? Or, why did you say what you said? Can help us go from just talking about a topic to really going underneath to usually the deeper stuff that's really happening for that individual.
Let's dig a little deeper on that, because it sounds like there's some good techniques that we can use if we get into these conflicts. One is like diffusing and self-soothing. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
You want to use your I statements. Oh. You can use your I statements and just really say, hey, this is how I'm feeling about this conversation versus why did you say that or you say it. If you can avoid those you statements, that could definitely avoid a lot of those back and forth conversations that could escalate. Also, just being able to practice active listening. How can I just take myself away from my perspective in this particular moment, listen to, my mom or dad or grandma or whoever's in that situation. How can I just listen from their perspective and just really see if I can understand where they're coming from? Those are some techniques that you can implement if you start to feel like the conversation is going in a negative direction.
All right, if we have somebody out there who is just really stuck in the mud and afraid to get together with the family, what kind of advice can we give them?
Definitely, you have those really tough topics, those political conversations that could occur, those unresolved issues that might not have been addressed, within the family. If you're experiencing, because those conversations can cause a lot of anxiety for individuals. So if you're experiencing things like that, then that's saying that there's a lot that's happening internally for you. And oftentimes just talking about those with like a professional or being able to understand or put meaning behind the anxiety that you feel will prepare you for those uncomfortable moments.
This conversation really tugs at my heartstrings because, family times, holidays, they're just supposed to be so festive and joyous. But, people are people and, they can bring their stuff. And unfortunately, it gets really messy.
And one thing that I encourage is if you start to feel like those conversations are going in a negative direction, change the conversation. Hey, this is Thanksgiving. Let's talk about something that we can be thankful for, or and really just trying to have those more positive conversations. And that was another technique that you can implement if you feel like, here we go again, type of thing, and getting ready to go into a different negative conversation.
All right, well, practice those words of wisdom that Charlie's imparting. Otherwise, just whip some mashed potatoes out. That's what I do.
Food fight.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your beautiful
Thanksgiving.
family. Thanks,
Thank
Charlie.
you.
Family conflicts can arise at the dinner table, whether it's the holiday season or not. So if you need more clarity on how to handle these situations, feel free to rewatch this segment on our website or reach out to Charlie and his team of licensed therapists at the Arkansas Relationship Counseling Center. Simply scan the QR code on your screen or visit arkansasrelationshipcenter.com for more information. Now up next, we're getting a closer look at Annie, the Studio Theater's upcoming production, with details from artistic director Justin Pike and actor Mabel Miller on what makes this holiday show a must-see. Stick around, you're watching Arkansas Style.